Manchester United have been beaten this season again. Again, we have been beaten for the 13th time. 2 goals, one by Bowen, another by Kudus. Kudos to Kudus. Kudos to West Ham. Listen, this game was one of the most boring games I've seen in a long time. Listen, that 2-0 for me, West Ham deserved that win. United, in fact, not just United, the game lacked intensity. It lacked urgency. It seemed as if, especially in the first half, neither team wanted to win. There's no fight. There's no fire in the game, especially in the first half. Hardly any shots on goal in the first half from United. No goals. Once again, no goals in a game from Manchester United. United didn't look like they were going to score any time during the match. And we're going to have a conversation today about the United's attack. About the attack that we have been seeing over the last 3, 4, 5 games of Garnacho, Antony and Hojlund. Simply put, it does not work. It doesn't, and we're going to have to talk about it today. We're going to have to face some truth about Hojlund. We're going to talk about Hojlund and Garnacho specifically. Listen, I've voiced my opinion on Antony. Listen, you know how I feel about Antony. But today, thing is, United had possession. We had almost, at some times, double the amount of possession that West Ham had, but United just didn't know what to do with the ball. Kobe Manu, I know a lot of people are going to be jumping on his back. Yes, he made a mistake, but you know what? He's the only one of the only few players that looked competent and composed on the ball in the midfield. The goalkeeper, I've heard already a lot of people come out, talk negatively about the goalkeeper, saying it was the goalkeeper's fault. Listen, neither goal were the goalkeeper's fault. Bowen should have scored the first opportunity, and he did. He could have easily actually passed the ball and crossed it in, but he decided to shoot. And the second goal, good shot. It was a really good finish from Kudus. So I'm not going to be one of those guys who blame Onana today, but we're going to have to talk about the shape, the way we build up, the way we play today, and the way we have been playing under this manager, just in general. It just was not good enough. And we're going to have to talk about it. As usual, guys, before we get into the details of the game today, smash a like, turn on notifications, subscribe below. It's a brand new channel where you come here after the game just to have a little debrief. You grab your drink, you grab your smoke, whatever you're doing, and you just come here, you voice your opinion, you comment below. And essentially, I just give my analysis. I give you my thoughts on the game and how I see it. We say what we see and not how we feel. So on this channel, I say the word try because nobody's perfect, but I try my best to approach a football game without preconceived notions and as much as possible without being biased. I try to be level-headed. I don't have favourites. I'm not Pogba in and Pogba out and Sancho this and all these things. I just look at a football match and I just say what I see. And that's it. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the lineup. Let's talk about this. Is it Kambuala? I've never heard of Kambuala before. So if you guys have heard about Kambuala or heard of him or know how good he is or anything, just give me some information about him. Drop your comments below. I would love to understand sort of his history, where he's from and that sort of thing. But, however, we got another player. Well, I've seen another player, Kambuala, started at centre-back with Johnny Evans, which was a very big surprise to me. Personally, there's issues. I think there are issues with Varane, with the likes of Casemiro, with the likes of, a lot of the senior players in the squad with the manager. There's rumours about him losing dressing rooms and players not playing for him. And I think there is some truth in that, definitely. And I think Varane is definitely one of the players. Because let's be honest, Varane is the best defender we have at the football club. And if you don't believe that, fair enough. That's your opinion. But in my opinion, he's not the best footballer or footballing centre-back, but he's the best defender we have at the football club. And he has to play all the games. When he plays, we usually do well. Take Liverpool, for example. So I think he's injured today, but whatever the reason is, he really should be playing when fit. Evans at the back, Aaron and Shaw as fullbacks for their pace, I think, as well. Mainu and McTominay and Bruno were the midfield three. In my opinion, we should be playing our more technical players. I don't think McTominay should ever be starting in the midfield for Manchester United, ever. Despite the fact he scored 6 goals, and I know people are going to say, well, he scored our goals, Listen, goals can be scored by anyone, and if the team is playing well and the team is functioning, goals will come. The fact that he is the one scoring our goals is the problem. It's the fact that we're not scoring our goals, our attackers are not scoring goals, and a part of the reason why is because our midfield isn't working. It isn't working. So, you know, the likes of Eriksen, the likes of Casemiro, those players really need to come in when they are fit. And I know Eriksen, even I said last season, we need to think about Eriksen because the physicality of the Premier League goes past him. And I guess that's why we got Mason Mount. But Mason Mount, Mason Mount is not him. Mason Mount isn't it. And, of course, the front three, which I always have issues with, Garnacho, Hojlund and Antony. And we're going to talk about those three during my analysis during the course of this video and how I believe that they do not work. We do not have players who like to keep the ball, who like to rotate the ball. Despite the fact today we actually kept possession, our attackers are just get the ball and attack. Get the ball and attack. Antony sometimes can keep the ball. Antony sometimes comes back. But Garnacho loses the ball for me a bit too much. His IQ when he plays football is not high enough at this stage in his career. And Hojlund, like I said, we're going to talk about Hojlund. But for me, Hojlund is very raw. And his technical ability is just not at the level where it should be at the moment. The way he controls the ball, the way the ball bubbles up when he controls it, and it doesn't set, and he can't play quick because he has to take 2, 3, 4 seconds before he gets the ball under control, and that is so poor. It's so poor to see. It's so poor to watch, and it really angers me when I hear commentators make excuses and say we're not making any chances for him, and I'm thinking, hold on. So when Martial was playing in that position, in that same team, you weren't making those excuses for Martial, but now that it's Hojlund, you want to make those excuses. Hojlund's running around like a blue-eyed fish. All the things that everyone complained Martial wasn't doing, running around like an idiot, chasing every single ball until he went red. Hojlund is doing that, but he's still not getting in position. He's still not there ready to receive the ball. He's still not making those chances. So he's doing all the things that you guys said that Martial should do in order to make chances, and he's creating and making even less chances than Martial. And because of that, you have to now rely on outside influences, the environment, the way we're playing, the way that we're not creating chances. And while there is truth in that, we are not creating chances for this striker. We are not. However, he's not making it easy by the way he plays, by the way that he can't bring others into play. He can't really affect the game. And when you have a player who can't affect the game other than scoring goals, and he's not even doing that, then you have a problem. At least Martial, when he's not scoring goals, he's affecting the game by dropping in deep and bringing others into play. He's a footballer. He's not just a striker. He's a footballer. He can play with the back to goal, play facing the striker, play football. No matter where he picks the ball up, he's comfortable playing football. Whereas some players can only play in their selective positions and do selective things. For some reason, a lot of people view those players as better. The mind boggles. Anyway, so as you can tell, I'm not really happy with the lineup. We keep playing the same way with the same team. We keep playing rubbish with the same team, and the manager is not changing it. He's not. West Ham, okay, so that's my opinion on the lineup. Let me know what you guys thought of the lineup, who you would have started and who you wouldn't have, and why. Give me some knowledge as well. But let's go and talk about the game. In terms of the game now, the first 10 minutes, West Ham settled quicker. Had a few shots early on, few attacks early on. United weren't really pressing early on. We weren't pressing in the first 10 minutes. We were standing back, allowing them to pass out. And likewise, they were sitting back, allowing Onana and Evans to pass and Cambuala, I guess, to pass the ball between each other. I noticed that Bruno was dropping deeper than Scott McTominay, as he has been doing, to pass the ball, to keep things ticking, because Scott McTominay is somebody who hides. He prefers to arrive late. Even when he was playing DM, even when he was playing further back, Scott, he always used to hide away from the ball. He never used to go towards the ball or be confident enough to come and receive it. So at least when Bruno was playing there, there's a bit more composure, a bit more confidence in the midfield, rather than, Scott McTominay gets pushed up almost as if Scott is a number 10, and Bruno is the one playing deeper. So defenders are defenders as usual. They split, whether it's Evans and Cambuala or Shaw and Evans, defenders split. Our goalkeeper moves up. So we saw these little shapes, saw these things happening in the first 10 minutes. However, and this is the main thing, nothing really happened. Nothing really happened because the crowd wasn't feeling anything. The crowd wasn't chanting. The players were playing football so comfortably. There was a lack of intensity in the way that both teams approached the first 15, 20 minutes. Even Johnny Evans was walking with the ball in a centre-back position. And I was thinking, wow, these guys are acting like they don't... What's going on here? After 30 minutes, there were 0 attempts on goal from Manchester United. 0 attempts. No urgency. And like I said, Hojlund, the way he touched the ball, the way he controls the ball, whenever, Rashford, whenever Bruno or Antony gave him the ball, he would control the ball would bounce up, then bounce up again. And I'm thinking, mate, just get the ball under control. What is this? Even when Weghorst was playing for us, and Weghorst didn't score either, right? But Weghorst can drop deep. His control, his first touch was just immaculate. Turn, bring others into play, hold your defender up. Weghorst was doing all of these basic things, while this striker, Hojlund, and he's not 17, he's not like Mason Greenwood when he started. He's 20, 21 years old. So these are things that I'm very conscious about, things I can see very clearly. And I do not think these are things that you easily improve at the age of 20. I do not think so. And I think many of us who think that this striker is going to be the answer, I think we might be in for a surprise in the next couple of years. I hope. My fingers are crossed, but from what I can see, let's hope. All I can do is hope. I'm not going to be too negative here on this feed when it comes to Hojlund, but all I can say is I'm understanding that he's young, but if he's that young, and he's not good enough, then don't play him. So you can't use the youth excuse when he's not playing well, but when he is playing well, you're not going to use it. So you have to be consistent. And all I can say about Hojlund is that he's very raw, and his technical ability and his understanding of the game needs to improve very, very quickly. And that's all I will say. But we had chances. We created chances. Garnacho should have scored when Antony passed and put him through. And then when he was put through again, he tried to cross the ball. About 5 minutes later, he was put through again, tried to cross the ball, and that cross was intercepted. And when he even received the ball before he crossed it, his run was poor. And I know a lot of people say that Garnacho is very exciting to watch. I don't find Garnacho very exciting to watch. I find him very basic. The way he plays football is very basic. Just get the ball, run with it, and attack your fullback. And if you can't, go back and pass the ball backwards. It's like there's nothing more. There's no further intelligence. He's not going to do anything else. Yes, he scored a great overhead kick a month ago or 3 weeks ago. But once again, just like Hojlund, Garnacho, he is very one-dimensional in the way he plays football. And this sort of this transition football that the manager is implementing and the type of players he wants to play, to me, appear to be fast-paced, aggressive, pace and power, electric players that do not have a lot of the IQ. And I know, like, decision-making can improve with age, so you can't write off any of these people, right? I can only tell you what I'm currently seeing, not what's going to happen in the future. I don't know how much Garnacho can improve. and how much you can't improve. Personally, there are certain things that are embedded in you at a certain age that it's very difficult to improve. And while you can become more experienced and your decision making can improve a little bit, it won't improve massively. If you have the IQ, if you have the intelligence in order to make certain passes and know when to pass, when not to pass, when to run, when not to run, all these things already from a young age, yeah, you're in a better, much better starting position. But, you know, like I said, the second half kind of fizzled out. Both teams had a few free kicks that kind of led to nothing. But in the end, or in general, both teams lacked the quality, urgency, intensity, and United especially lacked the creativity in the midfield, and especially in the final third, to really do anything. It lacked the imagination. Like, these strikers, Garnacho's, Antony's, they're not selfless strikers. They're not strikers who are or forwards that are very creative, that are going to do anything imaginative. They're not. And neither is, despite the fact that Bruno takes a lot of risk, and Bruno loses the ball too much for me. You know, when you think about number 10s and you think about the Neymars, Messi's, all the great number 10s, and you think about Bruno, you're thinking Bruno's not even a number 10. For me, if you cannot dribble, which Bruno cannot dribble, he's a very flat-footed footballer, then you simply cannot be a number 10. And like, that's the most basic thing about number 10s. And I know in a modern game we're trying to force this, let's play centre mids, let's play number 8s as number 10s, let's play De Bruyne and all these guys as number 10s, let's play sort of the Frank Lampards, the Jude Bellingham's as number 10s now. Let's do that. And it is what it is. I guess football's changing a lot, but to me, those players will never be number 10s. They're midfielders. They're midfielders. They're number 8s. They're box-to-box midfielders, a lot of them. Number 10s are your Mavericks. Number 10s are your ballers. Number 10s are your Neymars, your Messis, your Ronaldinhos of this world. Your total footballers that can pick the ball up at any time, anywhere, at any position. Turn, dribble, turn left, turn right, drive the team forward. Those are your number 10s. And those players don't really exist anymore because the modern game is all about systems, all about pace and power, and you don't really have room for creativity for those players that, you know, might not track back, might not be too good defensively. We don't really have room in the modern game for those sort of players. And it breaks my heart because football is an art, it's entertainment first. And the way that we consume it now is not art, it's not entertainment, it's just, I want my team to win no matter what, no matter how rubbish football is. Just win, score the goals so I can go home. And that sort of approach to football, to something that's supposed to be an art, and you know, all you talk about is goals and assists and who gets this goal and who gets the assist. And the way that we framed football now is just very toxic, very poisonous, and it doesn't leave room for nuance. It doesn't leave room for you to appreciate players who don't get goals and assists. And sometimes the players who don't get goals and assists are the better players in the team, you know. But like I said, first half was what it was. Second half started pretty much the same. Bowen had a header save from a corner early on around the 55th minute. But the manager, Ten Hag, made a change that, it's surprising. I thought I would have brought off Garnacho for Rashford because some of the chances, one or two of the chances that Garnacho had, I think Rashford would have scored. I really do. So I would have taken off Garnacho for Rashford, but the manager decided to take off Hojlund. And I think Hojlund, he's struggling. He really is. He hasn't scored in the Premier League. And if that was Martial, like I said, he would be being crucified. And I want everybody to understand that that's a choice that everyone's making. It's an emotional choice because objectively and logically, you're seeing a man literally fall to pieces in front of our eyes. He's performing terribly in the Premier League, but everyone's afraid to say it because he's young and he's blonde or something, and he's the guy that everybody wanted, and because everyone's wanted him and now they've got him, and he's not performing, people are now scared to come out and talk about how bad he's doing in the Premier League. But I'm not going to be afraid. He's not playing well. He's not performing well. He's, for me, not doing the basics, and we have to say it. Antony's not playing that well. Garnacho's not. Our whole team is not playing that well. Has not been playing well for a long time, you know. But I think around the 60th minute, I had a commentator say that United have had a double amount of passes and double the amount of possession. So at the same time, we have to be fair. United are playing away from home against West Ham, who are a decent team. And up until then, we had, like I said, more possession than them at their own ground. And we had more passes, double the amount of passes. Not better chances, which is the most important thing. And we weren't winning. But I think it's important to understand that there is slight progress there. We kept the ball and we rotated it a lot better than we have done previously. So we have to say what we see and not how we feel. So that there is progress there. However, West Ham scored. West Ham still scored. And I know a lot of people are going to be talking about Onana. Listen, the fact that he saved the first shot in the first place was a good thing. Because really and truly, when I saw that goal go in, I thought, what happened there? Why didn't Bowen score from the first opportunity? Because he was through on goal. And why didn't he just square it? Why didn't Bowen just square it? Either way, it went in. And it was a really, really good goal as well. I mean, Luke Shaw, who never really gets criticised as much as I think he should get. He's been here for over 10 years and we haven't had one absolutely really good season. We've had half a season that's been good and half a season that's been bad. But when we talk about players who've been here for a long time, Martial's, Rashards and all these players, for some reason Luke Shaw doesn't get mentioned. He goes under the radar and it's not just his fault. It's not his fault why we lost a match. Because you can really just bring it all back to the manager and the way he's played, the way he's set up, the players he's selected. We have good players, but he's just alienating players. He's upsetting players. His man management isn't good. And the way he's playing with this whole transition 3-1-6 formation is just not working. So fundamentally, the buck will always stop with the manager. But with regards to the goal, and this goal in particular, it's Luke Shaw and the players in that side of the goal who just switched off. Great clip over the top by Paqueta. And I think that the game kind of changed when Paqueta moved infield a little bit and he started to have a bit more influence on the game. He had a good game today. Like I said, that dink over the top, beautiful, caught everyone off guard. And Bowen, first attempt, blocked, second attempt, slotted into the empty net. 1-0, and usually this is United, right? When United concede one goal, especially this United team, the way that we've been playing, our confidence, the way the manager, in terms of his man management and how people feel, you can tell we're very low. And usually when we concede one, we concede another, and it didn't take long before the second was scored. Once again, nice move. This time it was Mainu, and listen, he's a young player, and Mainu, for me, he had a good game. He's for his age, very composed on the ball, and he's a very good player. However, it was his mistake, and he has to own up for it. He has to take that L. He will learn from it. He will move on from it. He's young, like I said, and he's one of the players who I think have a bright future, and I think will become something. But today, in that moment, he has to hold his hand up. Miscontrol the ball. The ball rolled under his feet. Kudus, which player we could have had ourselves at United, but it is what it is. And he, great shot, bottom corner. Once again, I hear people, talk about Onana should have done better, but that ball went into the side netting. Kudus shot with his right foot and he went into the side netting, right? So when Onana concedes goals, because of the mistakes that he's made already, I feel like everybody is going to always say he could have done better there. He could have done better there. And he's also quite unorthodox. And I think that's another reason why he's going to get a lot of heat from now on. Just like Pogba, just like a lot of footballers, once a rhetoric, once a story, once an idea has been formed, once an opinion has been formed about somebody, it usually sticks. The saying that says, a lie can go around the world or something once before the truth can ever see the light of day, or something along the lines. I don't know what the phrase is. Either way, the phrase means that a lie doesn't take a long time to stick. And even if now our goalkeeper plays normally, has normal games, concedes normal shots, people will still feel like he has to do more. So I think it's going to be very hard for our goalkeeper now to change the hearts and opinions of people after the mistakes he's made. And I don't really blame him for any of the goals we conceded today, because I thought we'd lose. I didn't think we'd lose against Liverpool. I think the teams that we'll lose against, I think we'll go up against some of the top teams and do okay. But I think the mid teams like West Ham, the Aston Villas, and so on. I think we'll lose a lot of those games because we'll come out to score, we'll come out to play, we'll come out to attack, and they'll hit us on the break and they'll score against us. And I think that will happen a lot this season. I don't have a lot of faith in this manager. I think the manager now at this point, he just keeps doing everything that I don't expect him to do. It's almost as if he's doing the opposite all the time of what I think he should do. And at this point, I don't even know what team he's going to pick on a weekly basis. I have no idea what team I'm going to see next from this manager, and that is not a good thing. United were decent at times today, kept the ball well at times today in terms of possession, but once again, as usual, with the forwards that we have and the way we play football, lack the cutting edge, lack the killer instinct, lack the quality in the end from our forwards to do anything. Onwards and upwards, like I always say at the end of my video, but that's how I saw it. That's how I saw the game. Please let me know how you saw the game. How did you see it? Who was your man of the match? My man of the match today probably was throughout the game. If I'm going to look at the game from a holistic point of view, would probably have to be Paqueta. But from a Man United perspective, it could easily be Manu, despite the fact that he made an error. I think he was probably our most competent player on that football pitch today. Bruno, the captain, the least said about Bruno, the better. A large percentage of United fans love this guy. I cannot stand Bruno. I cannot believe that people actually thought he was anywhere near Paul Pogba's level. The way, when I see him, I'm without no feelings, like I say, let's say what you see. When I look at this guy, I'm like, I've not seen this guy play well in any top game that we've ever played, ever. Name me a top game, a must-win game where Bruno's played really well and you said, wow, what a game against Man City, against Liverpool, against Arsenal. Bruno played really well. Never. He goes missing. Whereas Pogba turned up many times. A lot of times when he's a DM, he's not even playing in an attacking position. So it's not really his responsibility to affect the game, but still we look for him to affect the game, playing the Casemiro role, playing the Makalele role. He's a DM, playing the same role that Rice is playing for Arsenal. We wanted Paul Pogba to affect the game and win the game from us, from picking the ball up from the centre-back. We wanted him to do what no other DM in the world has ever done or will ever do. We wanted him to have 10 goals and 10 assists from that position. We wanted him to do the impossible, while Bruno, who plays next to the striker, can't even get an assist, and we allow it to happen and we don't say anything. It's just, I hate feelings over facts and logic so much. It gets on my nerves. That's why on this channel we do logic and we try our best. Because I'm not perfect, and a lot of times I will do feelings over facts. But we try our best not to do it. Anyway, that's how I saw the game. Let me know how you saw the game. What was your interpretation of it? Comment below. Like I said, brand new channel. We say what we see, not how we feel. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you thought of the game. I want to learn something from you guys just as much as I hope you've learned a bit from me in terms of the way I saw it and in terms of the way I saw everything unfold today. Onwards and upwards. I don't see much happening this season. We're going to be out of most of the competitions very soon. And I don't think this manager will last until next season if he doesn't make very big changes and starts humbling himself very soon. So that's my honest opinion. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, do it. Brand new channel. I hope you liked it. Have a good Christmas. Have a merry Christmas, people. Next video will be hopefully next week after the next game. Enjoy it. Have a good holidays. Be happy, even though today was a rubbish day. And yeah, we will speak soon. Yeah, lots of love and take care. Peace.